Hello, this video is to highlight reporting updates that have occurred in LiveAction's LiveNX version 8.0. You will find that there are many usability enhancements that have been implemented to make it easier to save, schedule, as well as share reports with your colleagues. To access the reports in version 8.0 is the same as previously. If you go to the main menu, Reports, and View Reports, you will be presented with this page. What's different about this page is to the left you will find a list of templates. Templates are typically groups of reports that have been bundled together with a common theme. You will see a list of my templates as well as any community templates if anyone has shared templates with you. In this example, I do not have any community templates available. I can see legacy templates that came from the engineering console or our original thick client, and I can see a list of the default built-in templates that exist within the solution. If I select Report History, here's a list of reports that I have either previously run ad hoc or scheduled. Within the main body of this window, I can see several cards, and they list out either top reports, default templates, or if I scroll down, there's also a section for favorite reports. There are two views to this main window. If I select Table, I will see the exact same information, just organized differently. Next, what I want to highlight is I can actually reorganize these sections on this screen. I'm going to update this, and I'm going to put favorite reports at the top, then top reports, then default templates. Now, if you wish to very simply run a report, all you have to do is pick one, say from this page, like a top report, and I'm going to select the application report. You will be presented with the report creation and editing workflow. And from here, if I just want to run the report as is, I click execute. Here are the results of that application report that I just ran. I'm going to close this specific report, and we're now back to our default list of options. Under favorites, I'm going to add a report. And in this example, I'm just going to find a report. I'm going to select QoS, and I'm going to select this specific report, top layer 2 QoS Q drops, and now that is added as a favorite, and that will be preserved when I log out and log back in, of course. Next, let's review how you can use this interface to create and edit your own reports from scratch. At the top of the page, you will see the Create Report button, and I'm going to select that. The Create Report dialog will appear. I can give this a name, and I'm going to select a report to run. I'm going to pick a application report. This will be a report that would show me the top applications seen in the network per the filter criteria that I've established. In that specific example, I did not implement any filter. And what I will see is these are the top 10 applications in my network environment. Now let's say I want to modify this report. I have a couple options. One, I could click the copy button here, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. And I could change a parameter about this report. So for example, I'm going to put a flex search in place, and I'm going to do a search for EF traffic, and I'm going to now re-execute this report or rerun it. And when I rerun this report, it's still the application report. I just have a flex search, and here's that flex search. We're looking specifically for EF traffic. So the matches are just the EF data in this specific network. Let's say I wish to copy this report and maybe add additional reports and build a template. One option I can do is I can select copy, and in my report edit workflow under add new report, I just hit the plus sign, and now I can add a additional report. So in this example, I'm going to add a top conversation report. I will leave all elements about this in its default state, and when I execute this, I will now see two reports in my results, both the application report as well as the top conversation report. One thing to note is my application report retained its flex search, but on my top conversation report, I did not implement a flex search, so none is seen. Let's say I wish to edit something about my top conversation reports. Well, notice how there's a pencil icon at the top of the graph for that report. I'm going to select that pencil icon, and when I do, the edit report workflow will appear, and highlighted will be that of the top conversation report. The other report, the application report in this example, is still visible, but in this case, we're going to be editing just the top conversation report. One additional thing you can do here is I can change the order of these two reports. So I'm going to click and drag the top conversation report to the top of the list, and I'm going to now rerun that report. Here we can see the top conversation to the top of the page and the application report to the bottom of the page. Now let's review additional details that have been added to the reporting framework. I'm going to select copy in this example, and let's edit these two reports. The first thing I want to highlight is there are several ways you can customize the reports. For example, I can give these custom names. I'm going to call my top conversations report, I'm going to give it a name of Top Talkers. And I'm going to give it a report description of So I've now given my top conversation report both a name as well as a description. I'm going to go to application and do the same thing. Also, what I can do is I can now provide a footnote. Okay, now I've provided a footnote as well as specific names and descriptions for these reports, and I'm going to execute this report. And the results can be seen here. I can see where I have my custom name for these two reports, Top Talker and Top Applications. And I can also see the custom descriptions that I have given at the top of each report. And then when I scroll down to the bottom of the screen, I can see the footnote that I implemented. Finally, let's say I wish to save this report as a template. So I'm going to copy these reports, and I'm going to change the name just as an example, and I'm going to rename it to My Template 1. I'm going to say Save as Template. I could rerun this, and I might as well go ahead and do that now. You'll notice the name of the report has changed to My Template. And if I come to Templates, we can see My Template 1 now is part of the list. Currently, My Template 1 is a private template, which means just I can see that template. If I was to make it public, now colleagues would see this report template show up as a shared template. If I click the calendar, I could now schedule this report to run at a residual interval of my choosing. Here would be one such example where I've scheduled the report to run hourly, and after 5 occurrences, the schedule will turn itself off. Now let's review some additional options that have been added to the reporting framework. I'm going to once again select copy. I want to highlight the presentation mode option. It defaults to standard, but if I change it to executive and rerun this report, what we're going to see is the formatting of the report results have changed. The results now are that of dashboard widgets. This can be a nice way to share complex information with managers or executive users. Also note that any customization to names, descriptions, or footnotes stay intact. I'm going to copy this once again, and I'm going to set my view back to standard. And I'm going to rerun this report. You will notice under View Options there are several ways that you can customize the view. For example, I could eliminate the table, the report parameters, and the graph legend. And now my report view would be streamlined to those specific view options. I'm going to add those elements back in. Next, what I'm going to do is notice how at the top of the table I have the ability to sort my table fields, and I can choose which fields of data I wish to include. So for example, if I wish to remove source and destination country, I could do so in this example. Finally, notice how there is a option for creating a widget. I'm going to select that. And what will now happen is I will be presented with my dashboard create custom widget workflow, and the report that we were reviewing will now be available to become a dashboard widget. Okay, I just saved that report as a dashboard widget. So if I come to Main, Dashboard, and New tab, that's where I save that specific widget. Here is the widget that I just edited. Now that I have returned to the reporting workflow, I'm going to go back to my report history and take a look at the last instance of the report that we've been working with. This concludes our video on the reporting updates that have occurred in LiveAction's LiveNX version 8.0. Thank you.